In the long and brutal history of Russia's war against Ukraine, certain moments stand out as turning points. We saw this in the early weeks of the invasion, when Ukrainian resolve shattered the myth of a swift Russian victory. Now, in the late summer of 2025, Ukraine has executed a military operation of such audacity and precision that it has left allies and enemies alike in shock. This was not just another battle, it was a statement of intent, a demonstration of ingenuity that has reshaped the very calculus of the war. A critical piece of Russian infrastructure, long thought untouchable, was severely damaged in a coordinated, multi-pronged attack. The strike's success was not just a military victory for Kyiv, it was a psychological blow to Moscow, and a wake-up call for the Western alliance. It proved that Ukrainian capabilities had evolved far beyond what even its closest partners in NATO had fully comprehended. The implications ripple far beyond the immediate battlefield, challenging the core tenets of Russian power and undermining the Kremlin's narrative of control. For NATO, it is a moment of both admiration and unease, introducing a new level of unpredictability into an already volatile situation. Ukraine is no longer just defending its territory, it is actively shaping the course of its own destiny, forcing the world to reconsider everything it thought it knew. To understand the shockwaves this event sent through Western capitals, one must first understand NATO's role. While Ukraine is not a member, NATO has been its most crucial lifeline since Russia's full-scale invasion began, providing billions in military aid and intelligence. The alliance has walked a tightrope supporting Ukraine without triggering direct conflict with nuclear-armed Russia. NATO supplied tanks, artillery and air defense, but hesitated to provide the longest-range missiles or most advanced offensive platforms, fearing escalation. Intelligence sharing was filtered, focused on defense, not enabling deep strikes inside Russian-held territory. NATO acted as a powerful yet cautious supporter, architect of Ukraine's resilience, but also a brake on its ambitions. Leaders believed they understood Ukraine's military limits defined by the equipment and intelligence they provided. This assumption made Ukraine's recent independent masterstroke so utterly stunning. The alliance was watching the student, but the student had learned lessons they never intended to teach. Now the conversation must include what Ukraine can achieve on its own. The balance of control has shifted, and NATO must adapt to a new reality. The target of Ukraine's audacious operation was the Kerch Strait Bridge, a symbol of Russian occupation and a critical military artery. Disabling this bridge has been a top strategic priority for Ukraine, but it was considered one of the most heavily defended targets in the world. The attack, unfolding in the pre-dawn hours of August 1, 2025, was a masterclass in combined arms warfare. First, a swarm of Ukrainian-designed stealth drones struck radar and air defense sites, drawing attention skyward. As Russian defenses scrambled, a flotilla of Sea-Baby maritime drones raced across the Black Sea, targeting the bridge's main supports. Several drones evaded defenses, slamming into the pillars and causing sections of the bridge to collapse. Just as Russian forces reeled, two Ukrainian Grom-2 ballistic missiles struck the railway switching yard, igniting a massive explosion and crippling logistics. The entire operation, from first drone to final missile, was over in less than 30 minutes. It was a demonstration of precision, coordination, and technological innovation. The myth of Russian invulnerability was shattered in half an hour. The Kerch Bridge strike was the result of years of quiet innovation and meticulous planning. Ukraine's military intelligence, the GUR, had been working on this operation, codenamed Trident's Reach, for over a year. Knowing Western-supplied weapons and approval were out of reach, Ukraine developed its own tools and methods in secret, even from its allies. Teams worked in isolation, one on stealth aerial drones, another on advanced maritime drones, and a third on the Grom-2 missile system. The real breakthrough was a proprietary battle management system, using AI to coordinate the attack waves in real time. Ukraine relied on its own intelligence network, commercial satellites, and signals intercepts to map Russian defenses and plan the strike. This operation was a testament to Ukrainian ingenuity and self-reliance, leaping beyond the limits set by Western support. Ukraine created a new realm of military capability, operating outside the view of even its closest partners. NATO headquarters in Brussels was stunned, their intelligence apparatus caught completely off guard. The use of domestically produced stealth drones and ballistic missiles unknown to Western agencies was a particular shock. NATO had a clear inventory of the weapons it supplied, believing the Kerch Bridge was out of reach for Ukraine. The revelation that Ukraine had secretly developed and deployed its own advanced strike systems was a game-changer. It shattered the illusion that NATO could control the escalation ladder by managing Ukraine's arsenal. Kyiv was no longer just a recipient of aid, it was now an autonomous actor with a powerful secret arsenal. This realization sent a wave of anxiety through the alliance. What other capabilities did Ukraine possess? What targets might it strike next? The balance of power within the coalition had shifted. NATO's ward had grown up and seized the initiative. The alliance must now reckon with a partner it cannot fully predict or control. In Moscow, the news of the Kerch Bridge strike was met with fury and humiliation. The bridge, long touted as impregnable, was now in ruins, a direct blow to Russian prestige and to Vladimir Putin personally. State media scrambled to control the narrative, first denying, then downplaying, then blaming a Ukrainian terrorist act. The Kremlin vowed crushing retaliation, launching missile barrages against Ukrainian cities, but these attacks did nothing to change the military situation. Behind the bluster, the strike exposed catastrophic failures in Russian intelligence and command. A blame game erupted within the military as commanders were interrogated and vulnerabilities laid bare. The attack revealed the hollowness of Russia's claims of superiority in the Black Sea. For the Russian public, the sight of their prized bridge in ruins was a powerful symbol of the war's true cost. The Kremlin's facade of control was cracked and its anger could not conceal a deep sense of vulnerability. The immediate impact of the Kerch Bridge strike is logistical. Russia's ability to supply its southern forces has been drastically curtailed. The alternative land route is longer, more vulnerable, and less efficient, hampering Russian operations in the south. The psychological effect is just as profound. Russian troops in Crimea now know nowhere is safe. Russia must divert air defenses from the front to protect rear assets, thinning its lines and creating new opportunities for Ukraine. For Ukraine, the operation is a massive morale boost and a demonstration of its evolving doctrine. It proves Ukraine is not content with attrition, but is actively seeking to win through intelligence, innovation, and daring. The strike fundamentally alters the strategic calculus, shifting the war toward asymmetric struggle where ingenuity trumps mass. Russia can no longer assume any asset is safe, forcing a complete re-evaluation of its strategy. Ukraine has expanded the battlefield and seized the strategic initiative. Ukraine's strike on the Kerch Strait Bridge is more than a military victory. It's a pivotal moment in the war. This single operation has rewritten the rules of engagement and exposed the vulnerabilities of the Russian war machine. The event is a lesson for authoritarian regimes. Military might is no guarantee of victory against a determined, innovative adversary. The Kremlin's narrative of invincibility has been punctured by the very people it sought to subjugate. For NATO, this is a moment for introspection. Ukraine is not just a proxy, but a formidable ally with its own vision. Western support must evolve into true partnership, respecting Ukraine's autonomy and innovation. The strike is a symbol of hope, and a declaration that Ukraine will not be ground down in endless attrition. The path ahead is dangerous, and Russia's response will be brutal, but Ukraine has seized the keys to its own future. In the contest between democracy and autocracy, the outcome is forged in moments of audacious courage like this. The world is watching, and the story of Ukraine is far from over.